What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great today and having a great day. Today we have an absolute banger on our hands. We have 9 cars under $3,000 for car enthusiasts. Now, if you're buying a car for under $3,000, it's probably your first ever car. So I made sure to make them cars that you can grow with and have a lot of things to do with them. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like. And if you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. I have some banger content coming really soon, so I'm sure you don't want to miss that. But without any wasting time, let's get right into the first car. So the first car we're starting with is a German car. Now, German cars, warning, they most of the time have a lot of issues with reliability. You have to fix them up relatively often. But if you're up for that and you're up for learning how to repair cars, this will be perfect for you. So the first car is an Audi A3 2007. Now this car, make sure to get it with a turbo and a manual because you don't want any problems with the automatic transmission. It's a really good platform. There's tons of modifications you can do through them, and you're gonna have fun and look pretty good with good interior. Now, if you want something more reliable, let's move to the Japanese and go with the Acura TL. Now, the Acura TL you can find under $3,000 or just around, but I'm warning you, they're probably gonna have high mileage. But do not worry because these cars have great reliability even with high mileage. This car is a great looking sedan, one of the best looking ever in my opinion. Tons of aftermarket. Well, actually not tons of aftermarket, but decent aftermarket. They look great lowered and they're practical because they're sedans. Now, if you want something smaller and something that's a little bit more for a younger person, look no further than the good old Honda Civic. Now, any generation of Honda Civic will do, but I would recommend one of the older generations as they're known for their reliability, tons and tons of aftermarket, and you can grow into the car. They're cheap to maintain, and if you want to, you can always spend tons of money once you get more comfortable and you know what you want to do with the car. If you really want a German car, the Audi A4 is a good alternative to the Audi A3. However, make sure you get them with a manual, and if possible, get them with the 1.8 or 2 liter turbo engine. These cars have plenty of modifications. They have tons of aftermarket and they have a great fan base. If you don't want an Audi, another German car would be the Volkswagen Golf Gti. Now the Volkswagen Golf Gti is a great platform again, has a turbo, you can modify it, great aftermarket support, tons and tons of parts you can choose from. They look great lowered with wheels, they sound pretty good with aftermarket exhaust. And again, be cautious of the reliability, but other than that, great little cars, fun cars, front wheel drive, unlike the Audis which are 4-wheel drive. If you want to go back to the Japanese, we have the Acura Integra. Now, warning, these cars are getting harder and harder to find under $3,000, so you might have to do a lot of digging and it might be in pretty rough shape. But if you're willing to make it your own and work on it from head to toe and go through the whole car completely, then I would recommend fun little cars just like the Honda Civics. They're great. But if you don't want a front wheel drive car, maybe you live in the north and there's a lot of snow where you live and you want something with all-wheel drive, I would recommend going for the Subaru Legacy Gt. Now, these cars are super slept on. Not many cars are modified, so there's not going to be any issues with previous owners modifying them. Obviously, there's always some people that modify them, but generally speaking, there's no problem. and they're great fun cars. They sound amazing. There's aftermarket parts for them that go from the Impreza WRX and the STIs that you can bolt on, so that's great. They're turbo cars, and I would recommend staying away from the automatic CVT because it's a pain with reliability, but the manual one is perfect. Now, finding a good one under $3,000 is near impossible. However, around $3,000 there's some pretty good ones. Maybe not with the limited interior, but if you want to get into the Subaru world, this is a great beginner car. Now, if you want something more upscale, something that has a higher brand name, you would probably look towards the BMW 328 xDrive if you live in the north, or non-xDrive if you live anywhere else. Now, the non-xDrive is rear-wheel drive, inline 6 with the manual transmission, great interior, tons of aftermarket that fit from the 335, the M cars, because they share the same platform basically. So it's a great alternative. There's no turbo, so you won't be able to boost it straight out of the factory. You'll have to do a custom turbo install, but if it's something you're up for, don't worry about it. It's a great little car, and make sure that you do all the gaskets and everything because they tend to leak a little bit, but other than that, it's a fun car. Last but not least, we finish with the Volkswagen Jetta Tdi. I wanted to include a diesel car really badly because diesel cars are underrated in my opinion. And in North America, there's not that many, so they're a little bit hard to find. But the diesel cars have great torque. They usually come with a turbo, so you can have plenty of tuning potential. They come in a manual, and they're just good looking cars in my opinion. Now again, a Volkswagen will be a Volkswagen, so there's reliability issues, things that break all the time, but every car that's second-hand, a bit older, has some things that break. So if you're buying a second-hand car, you should always be keeping that in mind. But that's the fun part about being a car guy. You can just fix them yourself and everything will be alright. Now, honorable mention, I would like to say that any Honda that you go with is most likely going to be a good bet on something that's going to be reliable, fun to drive, especially if it's a manual. Recommend it strongly. And there's plenty of aftermarket for any Honda really. Acura is the same. If you can find a Honda or Acura under $3,000, most likely it's going to be fun to drive, a lot of modification potential, and a lot of ways to grow with the car. Now this is where I'm gonna end it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a great time watching and learning, and hopefully I was able to help you find a car that you would think is interesting as a first car for under $3,000. I tried to keep it as diverse as possible, cars that you don't usually hear when you look at a video like this. So I hope I was able to help you. And if you liked it, don't forget, please leave a like, it helps me out greatly. And leave a comment down below what other cars you would suggest to people watching this video. And until next time, guys, stay positive and keep living life to the fullest.